started. I pulled up. Should be pretty quick and easy today. Um, Discuss with your groups your thoughts on organizational culture, what types of cultures you have experienced in the workplace, be it positive, negative, engaging, entertaining, and if you believe that leaders are able to shape culture. Who would like to go first today?
I can. So, my experience with my current workplace is very positive. It's a pleasure to come into work every day because of the culture. Um, Everyone gets along nicely. It's nice to see everyone. I don't get a case of the Mondays when I have to go into work on Monday. I'm very excited to get there and see all the people on my team. I'm excited to get work done. Everyone's happy to be there and, help the organization prosper because of the culture. Similar to the video, at my office, it can seem like a lot of work is not being done. Due to our culture, we're getting work and email done before we get to work, after work, on the weekends, before we leave the house. Because of this, sometimes we have a lot of downtime in the office, so we do mess around and go on Imgur and websites and look at YouTube videos because we have this culture where you don't have to be working all the time as long as you get your work done in a timely manner. Another part of the chapter I noticed was name the elephants in the room. To take like a different stab at that, since our culture is so tight-knit with everyone we work with, when we hire someone that's new, the people we work with can quickly identify if that person's not going to fit the culture, and they become kind of like an elephant in the room. So because of that, we have a very small turnover rate because we don't really hire people too often. And if they don't fit our culture, they're going to be the elephant in the room, and we'll quickly, reach out to the people in charge and tell them, they're not going to fit with us. So it's kind of what I got out of the chapter.
Awesome. Well, I can go next. I've obviously talked about Starbucks before, and it was interesting they actually brought up 2008 as a case study, which I thought was pretty cool. So I was a partner back in 2008, so I actually kind of lived through that transformational agenda and what it was like, seeing the ups and the downs of the company over the past 11 years. Can definitely say that who's leading shapes the culture. Howard was leading when I first got there. When stepped back and then came back in 2008, and the leadership presence was night and day. He just has a different form of leadership, especially when it comes to how he takes care of the partners and the community, where it's not all about growth and profit, which is kind of what was mentioned in that onward piece. I also thought it was interesting, the rituals, rites, and passages or routines. Oh, hey, Elizabeth. We just got started.
Okay, perfect.
So I thought that was really interesting. It really made me think of Starbucks because I've been a partner for so long. There are a ton of different, rights of renewal, rights of conflict resolution, and I still to this day think it's one of the hardest companies to come into as, an ASM, store manager, district manager externally, because there's so much culture in Starbucks that, I can teach anyone how to make a latte, but to teach our culture takes a lot of time because it is a lot different than a lot of other organizations. So people will come in and it throws them for a loop a little bit, that everyone coaches everyone and there's not this, crazy hierarchy. There shouldn't be. There are good stores and bad stores, but most people get kind of thrown in the beginning. So I definitely can relate to the ritual aspect of the culture in my current job.
I've been a part of some companies that actually went through mergers and splits and things like that. And each time that happens, there's always a change in the culture. just even sometimes the terminology, because one company I worked for was actually a Japanese company, and so there was two different cultures, American and Japanese, and just to be able to communicate times, yeah, you have to take in consideration the two different cultures. Example, like when you're reading technical books or literature, a lot of times the translation for the word glass, GLASS, would get changed to grass a lot. And so you have to learn what to look for, and even the different accents and things, pronunciations. We also went through, I brought up last meeting where we had a leader where, actually when I first started out, there was a leader that was there for many years, and then the manager moved in, took the place of that, and because of the different style of leadership, there was a big clash, not only from the people, workers, but also customers, where it got to the point where something had to change. And a lot of like the elephants, if you go into larger companies, there'll be elephants that they don't always talk about, but you can see. Like I was a contractor, like at Intel, and also during that time with Motorola and stuff. So I was in different companies, and you'd always have to be careful how you address changes in companies to make sure that you don't step on something that's a sacred, we call it sacred cow. So you have to learn how to communicate with them. But I definitely, the leadership of companies shape culture of the corporation or organization.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the Starbucks, what you were saying, Tammy, is just like a really unique culture in and of itself. Like, there's like everyone coaches everyone. What you were saying, when I first came into Starbucks, I came from a different job where like there was one leader who told everyone what to do, and like that was that, and like there was no problem with that. Like it was just as effective. But Starbucks is really unique in that, we just like we're all on the floor and we get things done. Like a leader doesn't have to be telling us, okay, now do this, now do that, and after that do this. It's more just like everyone's working together to get everything done, which is something I really like about working at Starbucks. So I think that's one of the things that really shapes the culture of Starbucks. It's just like empowering the employees too, not just like we have to be told what to do all the time. Like we can figure it out for ourselves too. So.
Yeah. It's interesting though. There's times I remember I had a barista who, I think she was about 60, who reached out to me and she's like, oh, my store manager hates me, and I really need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, geez, okay, yeah, that's me. And every example she gave me were things that he did need to coach her on, routines and things that have to be done a certain way. And she's like, it really took her aback, and she's like, well, and I'm sure the age had a lot to do with it too, because I believe he was probably, late 20s. So that can sometimes be a hard road to navigate. But once I told her, look, I have to be honest with you. If he wasn't coaching you on, on the brewed coffee routine, I would have to coach him. I was like, so it is his job, to do that. As tough as it may feel in the moment, he really is just trying to help you. But sometimes, even trying to help in a culture like Starbucks can be hard if you're not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That I lost contact.
I think we lost her again.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you hang up and reconnect, it'll work better.
Your screen's frozen.
But anyways, to continue on with the culture, we're
Somebody got killed before it was my friend's arm.
I hear you.
Grandma or grandpa.
Did we lose her?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to chime in about Starbucks because
Yeah.
I get coffee every day with the same dude, Monday through Friday. I got my gold card and everything.
Oh, there you go.
So as like an outside person, like seeing your culture, it's a little ridiculous. I mean, I don't know who's management, who's just a barista, who's a cashier. You guys are all just on point, outgoing, friendly. Like you guys strike up communications. Like it seems like everyone's getting along. It just seems like you guys really do have a great culture where you all come together and you all chip in, and like, no matter what it is, you guys are all helping each other.
Yeah.
It's really
Every
great.
store really does become like a little family. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's insane how that happens.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what I missed, but back to the working for Starbucks as well. I can relate to the culture that they established there, and then when I gone to Wells Fargo, and I kind of brought that culture with me. But I think it really has to do with the leaders that are running the place, because bringing that culture from Starbucks to has been a little bit
Somebody has a lot of kids
used
around.
to coaching the leaders and vice versa. So I think this type of leader have
I think she's frozen again.
Oh, well, she's in here twice.
That's interesting. We heard most of the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did mine cut out again?
Yeah.
Yes. You're actually on screen twice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of got the gist of talking through the culture that you took from Starbucks to Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone had to deal with, a negative culture, or does anyone think that the leadership does not shape culture?
I worked for PayPal for 2 to 3 years, and I think the culture there was kind of negative. I mean, they had like 5,000 employees in one office, and that was one of the biggest organizations I've ever worked for. And you work in like teams of 10 to 15 people, and you work in a specific department, and every 2 to 3 months, you would break your group up, and they create a new group of 10 to 15 people, and you would learn a new department, and this would happen over and over again. So over the course of 2 years, I was in like 14 different groups, and each culture is continuously different and changing, and there was no unique culture that stayed the same. So, I mean, there was both negative and both positive, depending on what group I was with. But since nothing ever stayed the same, I wasn't familiar going to work, and some months out of the year I would drop whatever culture I was engaged with that group. I mean, that's a little unique scenario, I guess.
Yeah. What was the goal of that, switching everyone around like that? Did they have a reason?
So you would have like disputes and claims, shipping and handling. You know, if you're ordering things online, you learn debit and credit card, banking. So I mean, the goal was to make every employee totally knowledgeable about every department. But by doing so, you're also mixing people. You know, taking people away from their family and creating a new family, and you have to restart that whole engaging with everyone process, and it's kind of negative, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think Intel does that. I think it's like 5 years or 10 years they have you change departments. It's not as bad as every year. That'd be really bad. I think they explained it to me as that you become more versatile, learn more of a broader experience.
Yeah, that part makes sense. Just being a better, well-rounded employee, but the culture part could be really tough.
Yeah, that'd be really tough. Because I feel like you start forming relationships in like 2 to 3 months, and that's like when you move on to your next group. That would be really hard.
I interviewed a store manager from, I think it was Qdoba maybe, or Chipotle, one of those, and as an assistant, she bounces around from store to store a lot. They're kind of like fill-in manager when off or anything, and that was her main reason for interviewing with us. She's like, I just feel like I can't get, my wheels moving in any particular store because I bounce around so much, and not to mention, when you add on commute and all of that with it too, but and a sense of culture, it's just really tough. Yeah, you never get that family feeling or that group feeling when you bounce around like that.
I actually worked Chipotle for 5 years, and those area managers, they give them, 15 to 16 stores, and they do act as a fill-in general manager. And then you have someone new that's coming to your place that's not your general manager, and the employees don't feel at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough. She was talking through, how she was trying to help lead somebody, and they were like, well, that's not what my general manager says, so no. She's like, well, you have to, and she ended up sending this kid home, and it was just a kind of a nightmare. It's her word against the general man. I mean, it just doesn't sound like a very pleasant experience at all. Well, cool. Anyone have anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
I'm good.
So if you guys didn't see, we did start the leadership database on Google Docs. You should have that in your inbox somewhere, the invite to it, so you can go in and fill out your section for the leadership database. And once everyone has their section filled out, I'll post it to the instructor, and we can check that box off. Or I'll let you guys know, hey, here, this is the final copy. Make sure everyone agrees, everything looks good, and we'll send it off to the instructor so that we can have that done. And I think other than that, I think we might have at least one more call, and then the peer evaluations, and classes going by quickly. So
Yeah, it is. Thanks for starting that. That was really helpful, that Google
Oh,
Doc.
yeah, no.
So, thank you.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, guys. I will send this the link to the YouTube over to the instructor tonight or tomorrow, and I will see you guys next Saturday.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.